Steven, you have kids. You have children. You know, every once in a while, you know how you have to like
Mhm.
parent your children. You have to teach them lessons. You have to instill knowledge that you've gained from being
Mhm.
human into your children's brains. You know how you have to do that as a
And
parent.
hope that they hear it so they don't make the same mistakes and have to endure trials and tribulations that you've already once
Yeah.
experienced.
And every once in a while, you get to experience those things. You see your kid doing something that you've done. You're like, ah, man, I know how to, I've been there. I'll grab your hand and I'll help you through that path. And then sometimes, Steven, sometimes a child does something that's so bonkers, that I never had the opportunity to do, I guess. So it took me aback.
It was a new lesson. It was a
Steven,
new.
Steven, it's not, what's funny? It's not even, it's one of those things where I'm like, I didn't think I'd ever have to say this, but so we're in the office, okay? And Atlas comes in and he sits in my chair, just like that. He sits in my chair and he's like spinning around and he starts looking at my desk. And you can't see what's on my desk right now, but I have comic books, I have my mug,
Oh
I have
no.
I have random $2 bills, okay? I have this like adorable dad thing, and I have some pictures and something maybe a little unconventional that I keep on my desk close to my heart because it's important to me is this here, which is my friend Mike.
Oh.
Okay? And Steven, yes, I have the ashes of our good friend Mike on my desk, close to me. I think of him every day. I have him there, and I always think when I'm doing things, I'm like, whatever makes us money. I like have silly thoughts, and it feels good, and I like it. So he's there. I've never in my life or in Atlas's life been like, this here is a very important object. It contains the ashes of a very close
It's the
but very dead
phylactery
friend.
of the ancient lich, Michael Curtis.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've never thought to do that. So what happened today, Stephen, was my son, my beautiful, amazing, adorable, very naive little boy, sat in my chair, grabbed Mike and shook him like a maraca. And,
Oh.
and he said, "What is this?"
You're just like, ooh.
Yeah. So I just turned around to hear the shaking of Mike in a rhythmic fashion and went, "Well, that's Mike." Steven, and his face dry. He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, those are the ashes of my friend who passed away, and they put them in this very nice, beautiful little urn, and now it's on my desk. And no, that's not his entire body. It's probably his ankle. It's like some kind of like piece of one of his bones, but it's mine."
It's
And so Stephen, I learned today that when you shake an urn full of ashes, a genie doesn't appear. Mike doesn't appear and grant me three memories or
Mike
whatever.
does not appear and
Um,
say tro
True.
tro. Like
That's what so Steven, oh my God. Steven, so he goes, "Oh my God," he's like, "I'm so sorry, I'm sorry." I'm like, "It's fine, it's silly, it's like a funny thing." But I was like, "But tonight, in the middle of the night, in the dead of night, in the deep dark of your closet, you might hear a whispering, true, true."
or a perfectly timed movie quote. We're not
What
positive which one you're gonna get, but you're gonna get one of them.
100%. Anyway, oh man, so that was my most recent issue I had to deal with today. But we have some other issues to talk about, so let's get to the actual show. Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, my best friend Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles and nonsense that life throws our way in order to get something done. Most recently, we've been working on a supernatural superhero culty comedy comic called Deathless. It's been going pretty well. Steven, we had to take a short break and now we're back. How do you feel being back into it? Have you started?
Good.
You?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I got some more pages shaded. I actually sent you a folder of all the final pages I have so far, which I think is like 13 or 14 of them
Yeah,
that are already uploaded. And then you just told me this week you actually got some coloring done and you're up to 17. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah, I'm up to like
That's awesome.
17.
So yeah,
Yeah.
did you send those?
Maybe 18.
Or,
I'm not sure if I sent them yet.
doesn't matter. I still have one or two more
Okay.
pages already. But yeah, dude. So yeah, I'm finishing shading those pages so that way I figure you can start lettering those ones while I start drawing in the cameos and stuff. So
Heck yeah,
They're
dude.
doing really good on it.
I can't freaking wait. So if you're just joining us, this is a comic book. We're on issue 4 of Deathless. It's a fun supernatural action comedy. It's a very D&D inspired silliness, fantasy world, modern day, with like an unlikely hero and stuff. So Steven and I have been making comic books since freaking high school. We've been trying, but recently we've been doing better, Steven. I'm very proud of us. We've been kind of kicking butt with it a little bit. We're actually Steven, you and I are professional comic book creators now. We have been
Which is pretty
paid.
crazy.
We have been paid by other people who aren't us to make books. Like now we are actually doing this thing. I feel a little bit more legitimized, Steven. Like
I
I
do too.
feel like a little bit more. I'm like, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, I feel very fortunate. I'm very happy with like the way things are going. Definitely been reinvigorated with Deathless. Dude, I will tell you. So we're getting back into finishing issue 4 now. And I'm flat coloring while Steven's doing all the shading, which means I'm just like filling in the basic colors of everything on the page, which is so tedious and it's so time consuming and it's a lot of work. However, dude, I forgot I was that far into the book. I literally, for some reason, there was a part of me that I was like, I think I'm on like page 9 or like 8 or something. And when I looked, I was like, oh, I'm almost done. Like I can see the finish line from where I am, and that's a good
Dude,
feeling.
same thing happened to me when I decided to start like shading again.
Yeah.
I like opened up my iPad and I had past me had already staged the next 5 or 6 pages. Like, and by stage I mean I've already copied all the inks from like another one so that
Yeah.
there's one layer,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I've already dropped the flat. So all I literally had to do was add a layer and start shading. Like I had already set up all of my files for the
Oh heck
next like
yeah.
4 or 5 pages.
Dude,
So it's
oh,
like
I love
it
that.
was
Oh
it
my
was so
God.
sweet. There was no setup between pages. All I had to do was go.
It feels so good.
It does.
Yeah, but okay, but in this show, it is we're called We Have Issues for a reason. Okay, we have comic book issues, which we've talked about. We always touch on them. We always touch a little bit in the beginning about what we're working on, and then at the end we always kind of talk about what we're gonna do next. In the middle, Steven, the middle is where the meat is.
The
Okay,
meat and
because
taters.
Steven, we have actual human weird life issues, and this week I know we were very busy. I went on a journey with my wife across the bridge to see you and your wonderful family. Steven, will you tell the people about what was going on?
Yes. So my children for the summer, the local theater had a little summer camp where they went there from like 8 to 4, I think it was, each day, for 2 weeks, and then they performed Legally Blonde Junior, which is the basically like just like the Broadway, like it's the Broadway version of Legally Blonde, and they performed it, and it was really awesome.
Oh my God, you guys.
Oh
It
my
was
god, you
really good.
guys. It was actually, I was really surprised at how well those children put on that play. Like it was not like, oh, we're here and like kids are, these kids really worked hard. Let's really No, like they did a really good job. It was a very entertaining play for the age range.
See, I will tell you as someone now, you know how I love your daughters. I love
Mhm.
those girls. I feel like they are my family. But since I get to have that like one step removed situation because they're not my children,
Mhm.
normally in that situation, you sit there and you're kind of like, you suffer through the performance. And I will
You're
say
there to support.
you're there to
Mhm.
support. But I will say, dude, I was thoroughly entertained the whole time, and not just like in an ironic way. Like they did a
Mhm.
good job. They did.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there was some of their children, so like some of the girls were like, some of the kids were like silly in their performances and making like absurd faces and stuff while they're doing it. But it all tied, like it was all really well done. It was perfectly choreographed. Everything was great. It was so good, and I was so proud of them, like watching them and just seeing
Mhm.
like how much of themselves they put into it. It was really cute. How'd they feel after it and
Oh
everything?
yeah, they had a great time. I know Chase was nervous, but I gotta say it was like so awesome because like how nervous Chase was, and then she's one of the frat boys.
Dude,
Extreme, like she's just like this little
so
frat
good.
boy on stage, and she's so tiny. But Cambria doing all those like amazing like facial
Yeah.
expressions and like really like selling it, and like the coordinated dance. Like I just think of like all these coordinated dances,
Oh
all
yeah.
these and then like the main actors too, all the lines they have to learn, and there really wasn't that many mishaps with their missing
No.
words or missing, and I don't know, it was just very, I was very impressed. You guys came Friday night, which was
Yeah.
awesome. I worked that day and then went to the evening
Yeah.
show, and
Oh
then
boy.
Saturday I went two
Exhausting.
more times,
Yeah.
and
Oh God.
I actually sent because Brandon came Saturday at
Oh,
2,
yeah, yeah.
and I sent him a text afterwards, and I was like, me after seeing 3 showings of Legally Blonde Jr., and it was just that meme from Always Sunny, like, I get it now. Like, the play reached me. Like, oh my god, I get it now. But yeah, no, it was a lot, but they had a blast. And then we're like, Tina's mom wanted to take us all out. We all wanted to go out and get dinner together after the
Yeah.
the 2 o'clock show that day,
Mhm.
and we're like trying to get the kids to go somewhere. Like, oh, you want to go to like Olive Garden or something like that? These kids just wanted to go to Five Guys, so we went to
Of course.
Five Guys,
Yeah.
got burgers, fries, and shakes, and it was a good time. That's how we ended that Saturday, and then Sunday was recovery for me because it was like I was social batteried out. My battery was gone.
I can't even imagine. That's a lot. I was this weekend. I mean, obviously we went to go see the show and it was a lot of fun. And then on Saturday we were supposed to go see the Odyssey, and I was very excited for it. But Carly ended up having to work because she got a little behind, and had some stuff to do. So, but you know what? It's fine. I ended up like I canceled our tickets and I bought IMAX tickets for next week. So we're gonna go see it in IMAX. So that'll be cool. I've never
What
seen an IMAX
when
movie.
are you seeing it? Probably like next.
Wednesday.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like Wednesday. It's at like
Because we have
7.
D&D this Saturday.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going. No, I this Saturday I'm very excited for D&D.
I'm so excited to get back to D&D.
Dude,
I mean, life happens just like it
uh,
does for the comics when it comes to the D&D getting. But like, yeah, no, it really does suck when we have to miss a week because we want to stay on the same schedule. So Atlas is
yeah.
there, and like,
Dude, it's
it
so weird and so
life
hard
is
to
tough.
coordinate everything with people. Like
Yeah.
if you're out there right now and you're,
Hmm.
if you're wondering how do you keep friends or make friends or have a life as an adult, it's hard. It's weird and it's a struggle sometimes. I do find like I love that you and I and like I have that relationship with Tina too, where it's like I always feel like I'm connected to you guys. So like even if we're like apart for a little bit or something happens, I'm always like, okay, we're back.
Yeah, there's
Like,
just a pin in it. There's not like
yeah,
an expectation of like, well,
yeah.
you
It's it.
really screwed up not talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
something
well,
like
yeah, and
that.
I think a big part of that is like there's always the assumption of like good intentions. Like I
Hmm.
never think you guys would like are like gonna avoid me or something, because you don't want to be friends or talk to me or
Hmm.
anything. And I never like sit there and like stew and like they're what are they doing having daughters?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know if that's maturity or just I'm desperate, Steven. You're my only friend. No, but no, it is hard. It's a struggle though. But I feel really good in that we get to do this every week. We still get to like enjoy time with the families in doing family things
Hmm.
sometimes. And we always have we have Dungeons and Dragons every other week when we can. I'm very excited for that. But dude, so yeah, this week I was just like home and I just colored. That's all I was
Hmm.
like, she was working, so I just sat there and I was like, I'm gonna catch up with Deathless, and I was coloring, and that's pretty much all I did this weekend, and it felt good. It felt really good. And then we started watching Game of Thrones again, dude.
First 4 or 5 seasons are like flawless, aren't they?
Steven, I will tell like we're on season 2 now,
Hmm.
and I love this show so much more right now than I did when I watched it the first time. And I do wonder like if when I get to the end I'm going to have the same feel. I know I'm still going to be a little disappointed, but I wonder if it's going to feel better having binged it rather than feel like I've been waiting forever for that. You know what
Because
I mean?
even
Like,
me, like, I actually got into the Game of Thrones like right after. I think it was right before 7 was going to start,
oh
and
wow.
then or was it 6? Might have been 6, but I know I had to wait myself. Like, and I thought it was
Yeah.
crazy because I think I started watching it when 5 was already long out and 6 was finishing up. I think that's what it was because 7 was the last
Yeah.
season, right?
Yeah.
Um, so like even me, I had to wait, and like yeah, it was disappointing. Honestly, I feel like there's just a few things if they would have fixed in season 7,
Hmm.
people would have accepted it more. Like I really think if the battle for Winterfell, right?
Hmm.
If the battle for Winterfell was more like was better lit and there was
Yeah.
more action sequences within it, I think first off that would have made people feel better. And then also if maybe they dragged that fight off like through like 2 episodes even, like have like some sort of like separate fights happening in the war to make it feel like this huge cataclysmic thing that's been building for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
The main war like is against the undead army, like It's
Yeah.
over during nighttime. I'm saying, I don't know. Like, dude, like, how cool would it have been? I said this before. I'm sorry that we're getting into this, but like, how cool would it have been if Bran would have been using like the dire wolves to attack? Like,
There are so
you.
many
I think you
cool
were the
things
one that
that,
suggested
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
like,
There's so many cool things they could have done with Bran, and they just, and that I think that was my initial frustration with the season. So for anyone out there who's like, Game of Thrones, I also had this feeling, or if you loved the ending of Game of Thrones, like this is just my frustration wasn't like everything about it was crap, it was complete garbage. I just felt like there were so many obvious opportunities to do cool things and fun things, interesting things, deep things for each character, but like, and they just seemingly did the easiest or like the laziest kind of thing for each character to tie up. It's like instead of
well,
putting a bow. It
go
kind of,
ahead,
you know what
sorry.
it felt like, instead of putting like wrapping a bow, tying a bow on something, it felt like it was a clip on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like they bought the same, like it was like one of those sticker bows you put on the present at Christmas. Or like it kind of it ties the
you know
remote.
what? Literally that. It's literally they could have wrapped it up
Yep.
very nice with the bow with everything, but instead they're like, I don't have time to wrap it. I'm just gonna grab a gift bag and some tissue paper real
Yeah.
quick and throw it in and call it a day. That's really what it was because
Yeah.
I
That's
think
how it felt.
and it's all on D&D. It's all on them. It's on Dave and David because like HBO offered them like we can give you 3 more seasons to wrap this
That's crazy.
carefully.
Oh,
And they were like, no, we want to wrap this up. We want to move on. And then they lost all the gigs they were going to get because of how much they fucked
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Because I think that same ending works if you let it breathe for like if you
Oh,
were to
yeah.
let some of those plot points breathe a little more, it would have worked fine. Like
Right.
Daenerys going,
Yeah.
Mad Queen, all that's acceptable.
Yeah.
What? What?
Hang on, Stu. I have something because you brought up her going Mad Queen. So So Carly does it. We're both in the same boat with this because like we both watched all of it, but don't remember a lot of it. Like I remember chunks of the story, and I remember very specific things and like things that I attached to, or, like connected with one way or another. Like I of course I have good memories and bad memories and whatever, but I don't remember a lot of it. Like a lot of the intricacies of the houses and their conversations and like all
Mm-hmm.
that. So there are things I don't remember. One of the things that Carly didn't remember was the fact that Daenerys just completely burns like everyone in Winterfell, like completely, or King's Landing rather,
Yeah.
and just like completely torches thousands of people, presumably, killing many, 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 many innocent people. So she was like very confidently like, yeah, Daenerys is a badass. She does nothing wrong. She's like everyone should bow. And I was like, my wonderful wife. Moon of my stars, heart of my heart. It's like, I was like, "Are you sure you remember this show?" But it was very funny. And then like she remembered, and she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We have to get to that part because I don't remember that." But anyway, it was just so funny to see like her face drop, and she's like, "Oh
and,
yeah, she
and
kills
like
up."
she kills so many people and like that twist happens so fast,
Yeah,
but it happens so fast because the things that would happen that would cause her to say screw it
yeah,
do happen. And like I said, like basically everything that happened, like not to spoil if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, sorry. But Bran even becoming the king and like all these different situations, they're all fine. I'm not mad at any of those things. I will say one thing that is unforgivable is Jaime Lannister like going back for Cersei. Like I
dude, that was
really don't
insane.
understand
Well,
that whole point of that
I know
character.
I
It's
hate to
like
get too into the weeds with Game of Thrones stuff, but I completely agree. I was just like, oh, they're kind of redeeming this character and they're making me care about this guy again and like his whole relationship with Brienne of Tarth, and I really love this and
mhm.
what's going on. And then it's like, oh wait, no, he's just terrible. Okay, cool, 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 cool,
I
cool, cool.
guess the message being you are who you are at the end of the day, no matter what you do. I don't know what the message
Thanks.
would even be. Like,
Yeah, who's that message for?
yeah,
Like,
I
get
don't know
out of
who
here,
that's
Like,
for,
yeah.
but no,
Um,
that was the one thing I think is they. I don't think you can make that breathe. I think he needs to either redeem or was never given a redemption path at all.
yeah,
Like
that
those are
was.
your choices.
Yeah, that was a shame. But like but I will say, rewatching it, it's very satisfying. It is a very like I'm not saying overall, I'm saying to where we are right now, it's a very good show. It's there are things about it that I'm like, this is crazy. Like who would behave this way? This is so weird. Like okay, last thing I want to say about Game of Thrones because I just said that, Steven. Theon goes back home for the first time in several years, like so many years, right? He goes to,
Mm-hmm.
he's like the Iron Islands or whatever, he goes there, and he sees this woman, and she's, they're like, we'll take your horse and go there, and he starts like rubbing against her, and he feels up her breast, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna need, time tonight, blah 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 blah, and she's just like, yeah, we're probably gonna get crazy or whatever, and he's feeling, and she's like moaning on the horse, and they get to the castle, and he goes inside. He's like, wait here, sexy, and like goes inside, and he talks to his dad, and his dad's like, and he's like, I'm gonna lead this army, and the dad's like, no, you're not, someone else is, and then the woman walks in and is like, guess who's your sister?
Self burn? Like, what do you do? I don't understand.
Hey, Steven, she rode all the way home getting felt up by her brother and like let it happen just for that one moment. She's like, I had to see who you were. But who she is so much worse. Who he is a horny dude who's like, oh, there's a sexy woman. I'm gonna touch her breast if she'll let me. And he was like flirty with her, and she was flirty back, and he felt her breast. And she's like, I had to see who you were, while being a person who seduced her brother and moaned while he felt her up and down. And it was Steven. What?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think there was like something else, but yes, that was the something
Yeah,
else.
no, he like touches her and like, dude, all for that one gotcha moment of guess what? I'm your sister. And it's like, but dude, that works both ways. You would let this happen. That's
We
your
did this
brother.
to each other.
We did this to this is
I
not
may be a piece of shit dude,
Oh,
but fuck. Like,
but
now we
yeah, like
both.
that whole family is insane to me. Like it makes no sense. Though, like their whole thing of like, oh, we sow nothing. Everything we get is the iron. We pay the iron cost. We kill people and take their stuff. I'm like, this is stupid. All right, fine.
The
Anyway,
Iron Islands were always my least. Like, it
yeah,
was like the thing I enjoyed the least. Yeah, it
yeah,
was like, nah, let's go back. I'd rather watch like the what's going on with the Baratheons right now. Let's see
right,
how Stannis is doing.
dude. Ugh, they're just monsters. Wait, segue. Speaking of monsters, Steven, before we like segue and get out of here, I need to tell you about this weird creature that I've been reading about all day. And because
Ooh.
let's do, I don't, it's not necessarily a monster test, but let's call it a monster test just for fun.
Grab your pens and pencils, but really not your pens, cause they won't go through the Scantron. You're gonna answer some questions, multiple choice about some monsters you may have heard of. Cause it's Monster Test, Monster Test, Monster Test, Monster Test.
Monster test. Steven, we love talking about all sorts of things on this show. We talk about, life, the universe, and everything. We talk, the things that actually happen to us, our actual lives, theories that we have of, various pop culture things, movies we watch, books we, read. Sometimes we talk about monsters. And Steven, most of the time, we'll ask, one of us will have a question. We'll like, kind of think about, what it takes to be a vampire or a werewolf, or, like how many nipples a werewolf would have, or, if vampires want to eat. What's better, Steven, like drinking just some blood from the neck or eating a kidney, because it filters the blood, like what's better for a vampire?
What's
Why
better
don't
for a
vampires
vampire?
just crack open a chest and go for the heart like a sweet, sweet Tootsie Pop, baby? Like, I don't understand. So we have questions. But sometimes, Steven, I'll be reading something, right? And I learn about a creature or a monster or whatever, a supernatural myth of sorts that I've never heard of, and it's weird, right? Because I know there are obviously there's so much in the world that I can't even imagine, like there's so many cultures out there that I've never experienced, so of course there are creatures and different things that they've created or claim to have experienced, right? Stephen, what if I told you? Okay, what if I told you that there's a creature that has been described all across Southeast Asia, right? Like in like all
Pretty
over
wide range. It's
a
pretty wide.
wide range of places. But dude, all across Southeast Asia, there's been a creature, right? Or to some degree of like variations of what seems to be the same creature described by many, many people, right? And people who claim to have seen this thing, right? So whether it's folklore or actual situations in which people claim to have seen it, or like I have actually experienced it, I don't know, I can't say, but I will say, so from the 1500s, right? There are writings by this guy Juan de Plasencia. about these various tribes and peoples all across Southeast Asia who claim to have seen and experienced. Excuse me, this is bonkers. Okay, um, it's a creature who is during the day a normal person. Usually it's a woman, but it's a normal person during the day. And at night, Stephen, their head removes, like detaches from its body, from their body, and floats with intestines hanging from it,
That
right?
sounds horrifying.
Horrifying, right? No, normally, Stephen, I'd read something like that. I've read about all sorts of like various like Asian demons and like those sort of things, like and like you get the idea that they represent something specific, and it's usually pretty on the nose. And like sometimes you see how these things have like a deep subtext and like a mythological sort of like life narrative meaning for those cultures, you know? But in this case, Steven, it's like I don't know, it's like a boogeyman of sorts, and like these. But what the reason I wanted to bring it up is so across these various places, there are different variations of it, right? So there's one where it's like the head lifts off, the body stays still with no internal organs as the head flies around and apparently or supposedly eats babies, pregnant women, fetuses out of pregnant women, recently married women, and there was like one other thing, but like, dude, and it like drinks
So
their
literally attacks women and children only.
it attacks women and children only, drinks their blood, and then returns to its body. And according to a lot of these customs, the only way to destroy this thing is by killing its body, destroying its body like with fire while its head is detached. Um, but it's so what's so creepy is like so then the different variations have different versions of basically the same thing, but like where it's like one of them I think detaches from its waist, but still like kind of dangles organs. Like one of them grows wings, but like still detaches its head and like floats. But they all come from various countries, and they've all had people claim to have seen them. And so it's
That
anyway.
sounds. That's like a really scary freaking
It's
monster, though.
such a scary monster. So anyway, so there's one called the Krasu. There's one called the Penangalan, and there's one called the Menangalan, or no, Menanan, Menanangal. But I'm not going to say the same thing because that feels like, I don't know, maybe insensitive, but like they are clearly all derivative of a similar creature or maybe evidence that there's some weirdness going on there. I find it so fascinating, dude, because like, how does that happen? Was it one person who was like, I'm gonna start telling people that this is happening, or did someone actually see it? People claim, according to this guy, Juan de Plasencia, he wrote in the 1500s. I read the whole thing where he was like, this tribe has like these various witches, and like kind of like what's the word? Like shamans, but like it's more like what's the word I'm looking for? Like witch doctors, like sort of like witch doctors who do like specialize in different things and have different abilities. And some of them have a greater efficacy of magics and are capable of like killing people with their hands or whatever, like just by like pointing at them. But this thing is mentioned by him, and he's like, they also claim this is like the seventh witch or whatever that they have, that they are aware of. And they claim to have seen it. And the guy who wrote it, to his credit, and of course I'm going to say it because for anyone listening right now, I don't believe this thing exists, but I think it's interesting, and I love the fact that multiple
Mm-hmm.
cultures have, had the same myth,
The
similar
same
dragon,
legend or a
the
similar
same
legend, yeah.
similar legends, right? And maybe they all have the same origin, but like we're at the point where we don't know, we did like it goes back a long way, and we can trace certain things, and we can see certain like very early writings about this, or like like in fictions and stuff. But like the earliest one I saw where someone was actually talking about it in a like practical way was this one with the one day Placencia. But dude, he's like, to his credit, he says like he thinks it's just folklore that's like gotten out of hand over the years. Like people are
Mm-hmm.
like creating a boogeyman, like don't go out or else this, but this will happen. But people legitimately in those places like especially at the time, avoided going out at night and avoided certain areas where those things were supposedly, visible. It could have been one of those things like, it's a myth created by criminals to make sure that they can do their terrible things at night and no one goes in the
Mm,
place where they're smuggling drugs or whatever they're doing. Like, you pass around this like superstition to the superstitious
to
and
protect
essentially,
your
yeah,
criminal empire.
yeah, exactly. And
How crazy would it be though if they like when they finally release like the UFO files, it's like, and these species of aliens, when their body gets shot, their heads detach and start flying and attacking. We're like,
oh my
holy shit,
God.
it's been aliens. They're all
Oh
aliens.
my God. Dude, so this creature, I remember I saw there was an episode of Creepshow in like the newer Creepshow on Shudder where like it had one of these freaking creature or it had these creatures in it and I didn't know this was like a thing, like a real thing that people believe. But there are people who actually believe this. So and there are people who truly claim to have seen these things. So it's really interesting to me. If you are one of those people who believes in this, or if you have if you know anyone who claims to have seen something like this, or like have heard stories about this, please share it with us. I would love to hear about
Please do.
anything like that. Or also, if you have any different cryptids or monsters or creatures that from various cultures that we might not have heard of, please share them below. I would love to do like a deep dive into like the rabbit hole of whatever creepy, crawly, creature that goes bump in the night. Because like it's so fascinating to me, dude. I read about this and I was just like, I'm like entranced by it. Like I freaking love it. Well, I don't even know how I got to that because I know earlier I was reading. I don't know why I'm fascinated with homunculus, Stephen. Like,
Mm.
there's something I don't know what it is. You know what? Like, I think what it is the idea of the practicality, like a physical thing that people actively tried to do. Like I think there's something like there are people out there who practice magic. You know what I mean? Like whether or not it's effective or valid or real is, whatever. It's to your discretion and
Let's
the
be
and
real.
reality.
We told lightning to operate in a rock, and now we have computers. So like, I
Yeah,
mean, there's magic all around us. I
there's
mean, it
magic all
really
around.
is.
That's
Like,
for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just fascinating to me that people have a curiosity and they're brave enough or naive enough to
mm.
try things and to explore the depths of whatever this reality is because we don't freaking know. We don't know what we're doing in these weird little meat machines we're running. And it's just fascinating to see how other people are experiencing that exploration. And so, yeah, I don't know. I love these freaking monsters. I think that's so cool. How can you imagine, Steven? Can you imagine seeing a floating head with organs hanging from it and just being, it's just like, ah,
You know what I'm like imagining too? I'm imagining like you ever see like this is what the actual human is, and it's the spinal cord with all the nervous
yeah,
systems
yeah, yeah,
and like the brain. I just imagine a head with like that sack of like nervous
yeah.
systems and spinal cord and organs hanging from like the meat, like basically like
Yep.
that's what
Dude.
I'm imagining.
Oh, yeah. I went to a bodies museum once where it was very surreal and very quiet. There wasn't even music playing. It was very weird, and I saw a bunch of chopped up bodies and different people. Steven, it was wild, dude. Like, you ever see? There's that movie with Vincent D'Onofrio and Jennifer Lopez. It's called The Cell, where like,
Oh, we're with the slides,
yeah, the
the glass.
slides, dude. That's what it was. It was literally slides of human. It was like a human spread apart in slides. And then they did that with every aspect of the body. So like there was like here's a skeletal system, here's a nervous system, here's the like literally everything they could. They're like here's the nervous system of someone who's never smoked, here's the nervous system of someone who smoked every day of their life since they were 12 or whatever. And it was dude, it was I'm gonna say it was like freak show level specific. They were literally like, here's an embryo at this stage, here's an embryo at this, and they were all real. It's not like props. It was all real, and it was surreal. It was very strange. It was a traveling bodies museum that was like it was in I forget, I think Orlando. But dude, wild stuff. I've never like I haven't seen anything like that since. It blew my mind. But it's to see the inner workings of the human like that it really does feel like we're some sort of I don't know, like submarine, like we're like a submarine on land because like everything inside of us feels like it's the ocean traveling outside of the ocean. it's
Really?
it's wild, dude. Everything in us looks like the sea that encapsulated itself so it cannot be in the sea anymore. You know, like we are now
Like
journeying.
created an entire being.
Yeah, we created an entire being, and it makes me wonder, like, okay, what are we going to do? You know, what's going to happen to us so we can go elsewhere? You know, like what will become of this? Anyway, just dude, it's all wild. So anyway, we're at that point of the show, Stephen. We're at the point of the show where we should probably talk about what comes next. So what are we going to do with our lives this week?
I'm gonna continue pushing through Deathless. I have some more pages to shade from you, and then you can start lettering because I think after 17 or 18, I don't know. You're getting
Yeah,
close to the end of the circus situation.
yeah,
Once you're at that point, once we're in the city,
yeah.
I'll probably take over from there in coloring because I still have to do the cameos, and I
Okay.
don't want you coloring stuff where there might be
And
stuff
then
overtaken. I
that's
actually felt so bad the page I just colored.
yeah,
Um, there was it was a sequence where one of the it's like M's outfit and
yeah,
you
yeah.
colored everything so well, but like I decided to do this thing, like this effect that's happening to it where I basically put like a red hue over the whole thing, and I'm like, as I was coloring it I was like, oh, look at all those pantyhose lines that are each individual line is green. I feel so bad. So what I felt, in fact, I felt so bad that I actually diluted the red just so some of that color came through still because I felt bad for how
Yeah.
much effort you put into it.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, what Steven is talking about is there's a character named M who has like fishnets. And Steven does a great job with drawing the fishnets so that there's like a clear line so they can be colored. And so she has these like blue, like aqua fishnets, like
Turquoise-ish, yeah.
turquoise fishnets. And I spend all this time following the line perfectly to color in each and every line for the fishnets because you can't just use the paint bucket. It doesn't work because it just sprays it everywhere no matter what I do, no matter what program I use or what I do. So I just draw the lines and I just do it and now it doesn't matter, Stephen. I'm Sisyphus. No, it's fine. I don't care. It
Just
doesn't.
she that version of M is on the page 3 times. It was the final one where I wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
kind of try to showcase a dispersion happening.
Cool. I like that. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I gotta put some red on this. But yeah, like I said, I diluted the red so it looked like it was like you could still see the natural color coming through the red. But I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, because
Oh
when I
my
first did it, I'm like, oh, this looks good, but there's
That's so
literally
freaking
none of the
funny.
color left at all. And yeah, you
That's
can't do that to Anthony. So.
Whatever. It's fine, dude. Whatever looks cool. I feel like that's the best way to go. This week I'm gonna jump into Deathless. I have a couple things to do for work, but not much. So I'm gonna do that stuff for work, jump into Deathless, and then like Friday night, I'm probably gonna have to just plan D&D, and then like a little Saturday before you
Yeah.
guys get here. But yeah,
You're doing good on your end anyway. Like I still have
yeah.
pages to shade, and then like I said, I'm gonna add the cameos in, and then
Mhm.
once I get the full issue done, I'm gonna start banging out the sketch cards. I'll just sit
Right.
on the couch and draw sketch cards
True.
for everybody. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But that's what we're doing this week. Those are all the issues we have to share with you. If you have issues you want to share with us, feel free to, mention them below. If you have any questions, make sure you ask them below. Tell us about all the monsters and nonsense that life's thrown your way. But otherwise, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for caring about anything we do. And thank you for being a part of our band and our colony. And we freaking love you. Steven, you want to say anything else before we go?
just what you said. Like I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for drinking the dirt Kool-Aid with us each and every week. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. But until next time, I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next week.
Boom 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 boom. Did you watch the trailer?
That should be better. I did. I kind of wish I didn't. Did you watch it?
I did, but I also kind of feel like they did a good job. I'm not going to watch any more trailers. Is what I
Dude,
think.
okay, here's the thing though, right? I said this to Chris today. I'm gonna cut all this out, but like the moment where Thor sees Captain America and he's like, "Is it really you?" And he like takes the hammer. I feel like that would have been such an awesome moment. And the only reason I think it's important is because Mystique's in the movie. So, like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe we won't meet Mystique before we see Steve Rogers, but the idea that there is a morphing creature, like a character in the movie, I like it. it made me think, oh, maybe he's not actually Steve Rogers, like a young Steve
Mm.
Rogers. Maybe he's not coming back.
They
Maybe
could have, but maybe that's also another thing. Like, we're not gonna expect Mystique to be somebody else at some point too, though. Maybe,
right.
but I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. That would have been a cool. That was a cool test too.
Yeah,
But
it's such a
I'm
cool test where like you know what would have been cool if they would have like and this is how I would have cut the trailer, right? I would have shown that Mystique is in it, like show her transform and then have Thor go, "Steve?" and then go, "Is it really you?" and then like hold out the hammer and then show Steve's face but then cut to something else. So you don't know if he grabs the hammer. So now as an audience we're
mm,
like, "He's in the movie, but is it him?" Ah, intrigue. But
mm.
now I'm like, what like it's
It's
either
our Steve Rogers for sure.
yeah, it's Steve Rogers. It's either him or they're going to be like, oh, look, Mystique's also capable of holding Mjolnir, which would
My
ruin.
only concern, my concern with that Steve Rogers is that it is Steve Rogers,
Yeah.
and he is still pure of heart, but maybe Doom isn't wrong enough to where maybe Steve is with Doom, is what I'm thinking to some extent too. Like maybe like there's something going on there. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know
But,
what
and I'm also
Doom is doing.
dude, and like I didn't even think of this. I had saw a random comment, but what if like Robert Downey is just like not even like Doom? Like he's Doom, but
Yeah.
it's just one of the bots. And like, what if we get like God Emperor Doom, who's like just like in the next thing too? I don't.
I mean, we could. You know,
I'm excited for Robert Downey as Doom anyway, but
I'm excited. You know what, dude? Like, what's been driving me crazy about this whole thing is people keep saying like, well, why would they cast Robert Downey Jr. Blah 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 if he's under the mask? I'm like, he's an actor. Like, the reason they
mm-hmm.
cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is because he's an actor. The reason
Yeah,
he gets
and he's
cast.
actually Robert Downey's a really good actor
He's
too. I
a
mean, he's
great, and that's the thing, dude. It's like people are like, "Oh, why would they cast him?" And he's just doing an accent behind a mask. I'm like, no. I mean, like, why did they cast? Like, why did they cast any actor to do anything?
mm-hmm.
Because they're an actor, and you cast a good actor to
It's
do a
just an
part that
actor
requires.
behind a mask. Dude, James Spader as Ultron was like the one thing that makes Ultron like because I know Ultron has
Yes,
its problems, but that was like one of the best parts about Age of Ultron was
dude.
James Spader
Yeah,
as Ultron.
yes. Well, it's like, oh my God, like, like, why cast an actor to play Bane?
Yeah.
Like, what do you like?
Like
What do you mean? Like, no, dude. Like, it's so silly to. I was like, well, and here's the thing. Obviously they have the opportunity to be like, oh, it's a multiverse Tony Stark, like evil Tony Stark situation, or a different Tony Stark, variant, whatever, who becomes Doom in one way or another. They can do that if they want to, but they don't have to. We're all assuming that because it's Robert Downey Jr., but we don't.
I think Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom is a cool way to end the way they've been handling the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Like with like the different variants and things
Yeah,
like that. I think it's a really cool way to kind of wrap that. It does kind of suck that Jonathan Majors had to,
yeah,
like strike a woman and hurt a woman and ruin the whole Kang. Because I do think the Doctor Doom setup would have been
would
amazing with the Kang,
yeah,
coming before, and then
yeah,
like that would have been great. But now they
yeah,
obviously
dude.
had to do what they had to do
Now
to
they
get.
had to shift everything. You know what would be really cool? I don't think they're gonna do it, but what would be really cool if Robert Downey Jr. wasn't Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that'd be crazy too. Like he's just
No, like, what if he's not even in the movie?
he's just
Well,
not.
no, like, think about it. Like, well, Steven, like, the internet has ruined movies. Like they've ruined
Mm.
the in suspense, like the anticipation of movies. And it's not even just social media, dude. Like, literally on what is it? I've like at work, I have to use two different browsers. So I use like Edge for some things, and I use Chrome for some things or whatever. So like on Edge, they have like a home docking thing, like a news media screen. It spoils things all day, dude. I have to like
He
deliberately
just
like,
sits there.
dude, I have to keep things up and like literally like I'll duplicate my tab before writing something new instead of opening a new tab, because if I open a new tab there's like news there. Dude, like, oh my God, what was I'm not gonna say it was The Boys. Someone from The Boys, they were like, "Oh, it's crazy." No, the story, the headline was literally the reason this person died in The Boys. And dude, it was the episode that came out the night before.
That's crazy.
I was like,
What's wrong with people, man?
and here's the thing, dude, like when The Boys was live, I wouldn't be able to watch it that night. So I'd always have to watch it the next day. So literally I'm at work, like I can't wait to get home and watch The Boys, and it gets spoiled for like that part got spoiled for me. I was like, why? That's not news.
And I get it. It's because they have to, because everyone else is going to do it anyway, and then like they're not going to get their money, and it's just I don't understand that whole industry as a whole. If I'm honest, like that.
No, I don't at all.
Like, who's looking for that though? Because
Yeah,
obviously these people do it because people want to be spoiled and people want to find it. I just don't understand
yeah,
what's.
I don't know.
I'll never understand that whole dynamic of wanting to know something before someone else. Is it like this
Dude,
temporary boost of power in their mind? Like,
yes,
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know. It's very weird, dude. Like I always want like I want to see movies as soon as possible when they excite me for me, not so I can be like, "Hey, this is what Dumbledore died" or whatever, you
Yeah.
know? It's
Dude, I'll
so
never forget World of Warcraft. It wasn't because obviously the books were already out before the
yeah,
movies, and it wasn't even like when the movie came out, but like the moment they announced the movie was coming, the guild Snape killed Dumbledore became a guild on like every server. Just to like,
crazy.
and a guild is under every character.
Crazy.
Any character
Yeah.
that's in that guild, that's under their name. It says whatever their name is. Snape killed
It's like,
Dumbledore. Dude, it was like instantaneous because they knew it would pique the interest of the people that only watch the movies. Like, oh,
of
they just
course.
saw this trailer and now
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna ruin it.